Assalamu alaikum students. I do hope that all of you will be absolutely fine. I'm your instructor Muzaffar Saeed and I shall be teaching you the logical reasoning. It's a different concept, a new concept. You have not heard it or practiced it before. So be very vigilant about it and be very careful about taking these lectures because this is something you have never heard of before. So without wasting any time, let's go to the first lecture and see what type of questions we shall face in logical reasoning. Ladies students, we are at the light board and as I've already told you, we are going to start logical reasoning. अब logical reasoning अभी जैसे बात हो रही थी, it seems a very horrible or horrifying topic to all of you, but it is not. Discuss करेंगे डिटेल से and I assure you that you will find it comparatively easier. Before moving on, let me tell you what is logical reasoning. Logical reasoning actually है क्या? Logical reasoning, as you can detect from the name, that it is about thinking logically or making logical deductions or drawing logical results. This is what we mean by logical reasoning. Or you may say it is a process through which we can separate or we can figure out the correct option or we can separate falsehood from truth. So this is what logical reasoning is all about. When we talk about और ये बड़ा otherwise भी हम ऐसे ही करते हैं, like in so many our discussions we often say to our friends, यार कोई logical बात करो यार, कोई reasonable बात करो. हम कहते हैं because we feel that the argument he is drawing, वो जो उससे दलील निकाल रहा है, that is not valid, that is not logical. तो हम अक्सर कह रहे होते हैं एक दूसरे को यार थोड़ी कुछ तो logical बात करो ना. So you are aware of it. It is not something you are completely unaware. कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है कि जो आपको पता ही नहीं है. You know what do we mean by logical reasoning or logical thinking or logical discussion. You all are aware of it. But practically, specifically questions के एतबार से MDCAT में कैसे देखने, ये एक tricky चीज़ है जो हम इसमें discuss करेंगे. Secondly, another important thing, so many students are like often aghast or they are like stunned why this logical reasoning is added to MDCAT syllabus. I feel this was one of the best decisions you can have. Why? Because if you go through all the international tests, be it regarding engineering or medical or anything like that, all the international tests, they do have logical reasoning as part of their syllabus. Why? Because if a person is not thinking logically, if a person is lacking the analytical ability, or if he is not having the critical thinking, then whatever subject he or she will be reading or studying, he'll not be a good professional of that subject. So that is a very, very good decision to make logical reasoning a part of MDCAT syllabus. होता क्यों है वो भी बता दे. तो हमें क्यों प्रॉब्लम लग रही होती है? हमें प्रॉब्लम इसलिए लग रही होती है ये कि शुरू से हमें लॉजिकली सोचना नहीं सिखाया जा रहा होता एंड वी फील कि यार 10-12 साल हमारी लॉजिक की मात मारी है एंड ऑल ऑफ अ सडन नाउ वी आर रिक्वायर्ड टू थिंक logically, so it takes a bit of like time or adjustment to digest that. But overall, it is a very good thing to have and you should appreciate whoever has taken that decision. He has done a great job. Now coming to logical reasoning as far as MDCAT is concerned, there are, if we talk about total number of questions, we have 6 MCQs of logical reasoning. 6 MCQs हम जो है वो करते हैं, and these 6 MCQs are divided into 6 types, although one of the type is further divided into 3 categories, but वो देख लेंगे. Overall जो types हैं, जो जिन 6 वालों से आपको evaluate किया जाएगा, that will be 6. और वो कौन कौन सी हैं? The number one is critical thinking. Now critical thinking अभी हम देखेंगे further इसको जाके. इसमें आपको 2 statements दी होंगी और 2 statements की base पे third statement के बारे में critically evaluate करना होता है आपको कि whether this is a true statement or a false statement. It is true, false और जो भी आप उसका conclusion draw करते हो, that you'll have to mention. Secondly, that is called symbol and letter series. Now this category, although it is not mentioned that numbers are included in it, but it comprises of 3 further subcategories. Number one is number series. If you go through the syllabus of a PMC, you will see that number series are also mentioned in that heading. ठीक है, उसमें बड़ा categorically उन्होंने लिखा हुआ है कि it can be symbol, letter or number. It can be a series of symbol, letter or number. So number series are also a part of it. Second one is the symbol series. We will discuss about it in detail when we talk about these certain lectures. And then the third one is letter series. And sometimes there is a possibility you can have letter and number series combined. So these 4 subcategories are all related to this second group that is called symbol and letter series. Then moving forward, the next one is the third one, that is logical deductions. Now what are logical deductions? Different scenarios will be given in the logical deductions, and you will have to detect what is the logical conclusion of this question, or you will have to find out an option that satisfy all the conditions mentioned in the question. तो different conditions दे दी जाएंगी, वो हम देखेंगे logical deductions. अभी intro में एक एक question हम सबका इसका करेंगे, but अभी हम just इसकी discuss कर रहे types. Moving on, you have logical problems. Now logical problems are the toughest because you get confused so very easily. बड़ी आसानी से जो है वो आपको इसमें कंफ्यूज किया जा सकता है। होता क्या है इसमें, 2 स्टेटमेंट्स आर गिवन और यू में से 2 आपको कंडीशंस दे दी जाती हैं, एंड डिपेंडिंग ऑन दीज 2 स्टेटमेंट्स देयर आर 2 कंक्लूजन्स गिवन एज वेल, 2 कंक्लूजन्स भी दी होती हैं। एंड देन एट द थर्ड स्टेप, ये 3 स्टेप में बेसिकली ये होता है, at the third step you are required to tell what or which conclusion I should say is the true one, whether it is conclusion 1, conclusion 2, either 1 or 2, both 1 or 2, and so many. There are 5 options given, and that is very confusing. You may have seen during the last 2 years, you may have seen so many memes circulating around logical reasoning, और अब बच्चे जो सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत वाइब्रेंट हैं, दे विल बी अवेयर व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग यू कि इस लॉजिकल रीजनिंग के हवाले से, लॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स के हवाले से देयर वर सो मेनी मीम्स दैट वर वायरल ड्यूरिंग द लास्ट 2 years. So this is the toughest thing, but I assure you that we will do it in a very convenient and comprehensive manner. If we talk about number 5, it is course of action. A particular situation will be given to you, a specific situation will be given to you, and you will be required to tell what to do to correct that situation. What should be the corrective measures? What should be the corrective action to rectify the problem? और ये बड़ा important है, comparatively easy है, comparatively it is easy, but in your personal life, or if you talk about life learning skills, this particular question is very very important, that you must know कि ज़िंदगी में जो मसाइल आएंगे उनके लिए कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन आपका क्या होना चाहिए. एंड देन फाइनली you have cause and effect. Here you will be given a particular statement and you will be asked what is the cause and what is the effect. You will have to basically differentiate between the cause and effect. Now again, as far as life learning skills are concerned, or soft skills I should say, they are concerned, cause and effect questions are very very important, because they will not only help you solve problems in MDCAT, but they will also help you a great deal while you move on in your life and face different challenges. So हम देखते हैं कि किस तरह से इनकी एक एग्जाम्पल हम करके देखते हैं कि किस तरह इन सारी चीज़ों को हम टैकल कर सकते हैं और ये क्वेश्चंस बेसिकली क्या हैं. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन एंड सॉल्व आवर क्वेश्चंस. लेकिन स्टूडेंट्स, हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं अब 1 by 1 6 सिनेरियोस जो हमने डिस्कस किए अभी, उनको इन डिटेल डिस्कस करेंगे इंशाल्लाह. The very first one is critical thinking. Now questions relating to critical thinking can be asked in 2 different manners. One is that comparatively lengthy paragraph will be given to you, and then you will be asked to attempt 1 or 2 questions regarding that passage. I have written that paragraph for you. The water resources of our country are very much underutilized. The main reason for this wastage is lack of capital and technology. A huge amount of water is wasted due to floods and unwise use of water for irrigation. We can make full use of water resources by building water reservoirs and adopting modern methods of irrigation. Now, as you can see, you have been given a complete paragraph, and Now you will be asked questions regarding that particular paragraph. I am writing down the question. Question 1 can be, if I say Pakistan has a large area and thus a lot of water is wasted. Now you can have 5 different options for that question. Number 1 will be alpha, definitely, true, beta, probably true, Charlie, insufficient data, delta, probably false, and eta, definitely false. Now you will be given these 5 different options, that a statement is true, definitely true, probably true, insufficient data, probably false, or definitely false. Now you will have to evaluate the statement considering these 5 options. If we talk about this statement, Pakistan has a large area. Now it is not mentioned here. We have no clue in this particular passage that whether Pakistan has a large area or not. So considering this, we cannot evaluate the statement whether it is true or false because no data is given. That is why in this MCQ our right option will be option Charlie, insufficient data, because we have not been told about the area of Pakistan. So this is how you can actually solve these questions. Then secondly, you can be asked, I am giving you another question. Building reservoirs can help us reduce this wastage of water. Now this statement, you will have to validate this statement, and again you will be given the 5 different options. Considering this statement, we have a clear clue a huge amount of water is wasted, number 1, and secondly, we have been told by building water reservoir. If we evaluate that statement, it is evident that building water reservoirs can help us reduce this wastage of water. So in that particular case, our option will be alpha, definitely true, because we have been told very clearly that building water reservoirs can help you reduce the wastage of water. सो एक तरीका तो ये है क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग के क्वेश्चंस पूछने का. Another way in which these questions can be asked is that you will be given a statement, a set of statement I should say, and on the basis of first two statements you will be asked to evaluate the third one, whether this statement is true, false or uncertain. So we are going for that type as well. That is actually type 2 of the critical thinking questions. The first statement is Sarah is elder than John. James is elder than Sarah, and then John is elder than James. And you will be asked if the first two statements are true, the third statement is alpha true, beta false, and Charlie uncertain. So this is the second type of questions related to critical thinking. Now, how to solve these questions? You can assume a particular number. We will discuss it in detail when we talk about critical thinking questions. Sarah is elder than John's. Very easy. We can assume a figure for Sarah. Say, assume कह रहे हैं हम Sarah is 30 years old and James is elder than Sarah. Now James must be at least 31 years और 30 से कुछ भी ऊपर हो सकता है. And then John is elder than James. अब इस स्टेटमेंट को आपने इवेल्युएट करना है. अब जॉन क्या था? He was younger than Sarah. So सारा की अगर एज 30 है तो जॉन की क्या होनी चाहिए? It must be 29. Because otherwise first statement will not hold true. So we can see that the third statement, John is elder than James, it is false. Why? Because John is even younger than Sarah. तो सारा तो खुद जेम्स से छोटी है, तो फिर जॉन कैसे जो है वो जेम्स से बड़ा हो सकता है. सो इन दिस MCQ our option will be option beta. This is how you solve the questions of critical thinking. Now move on to the next type. ले मेरे बच्चों, next we are going to number series, and then we'll talk about letter series, and finally in this chunk we'll discuss about symbol series. It is actually a one single question, but it has different variants as I have told you in the intro. So how does number series work? You will be given a series of number in a certain pattern, and then you will be asked what number will actually follow. For example, if I say 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then I'll be asked what number will follow, and the options will be 11, 12, 13 and 14. So you can clearly see that we are actually skipping one number, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and obviously if we skip another number in while talking about the odd numbers, we get 11. So option alpha will be the right option. Now it seems quite simple, but sometimes you can miss the trick. How? Let me give you another example. Question 2. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now it looks quite similar to the first question, but it is not. If we give you the option now, that is 9, beta is 11, Charlie is 10, and delta is 12. Now we have quite a similar question, but in a different way. Now we are not talking about odd numbers. We are talking about prime numbers. You know what do we mean by prime numbers? Prime numbers are the ones that can only be divided by their own. Okay, सिर्फ खुद पे ही वो divide होते हैं. No other digit, no other number can actually divide them. So that is why here our option will not be option alpha. 9 नहीं होगा. Our option will be option beta, because here we are not talking about odd numbers. We are talking about prime numbers. So slight differences can create problems for you, and multiple times I have told you that in MDCAT each and every number is important. Next, if we talk about letter series, it is quite tricky because it follows the same pattern, but in number series it is comparatively easy to go forward or to move backwards, because in numbers you normally tend to do so. ठीक है, आप addition, subtraction, that is a common thing while dealing with numbers. But in letter series, we normally move forward or backward. We do not normally move forward or backward. So sometimes it gets tricky. If I say A, C, E, and I ask you what number will follow, and the options are G, beta F, Charlie H, and delta I. Now we are actually skipping one number. or I can say we are adding plus 2 to the previous letter. A plus 2 is C, C plus 2 is E, and E plus 2 is obviously G. So our right option will be option alpha. Take another example. If I say what number will be used in the blank. Now we are actually going ahead but at the end of our alphabet. So what should we use? We know U, V, W, X. So what actually comes before W? If I give you an option, option alpha U, beta V, Charlie S, and delta T, so you know that the right option is option beta. So this is how we actually do things in that particular questions. Now talking about the symbol series, you will be given figures, you will be given different symbols, different shapes, and you will be asked what follows next. Pattern बिल्कुल वही रहेगा. For example, and here is given a blank and you will be asked what figure will follow, and option A is B is Charlie is and delta is so you can easily detect that we will go for option B because the shapes are repeating, you can see. So this shape will be repeated in the form of option beta. So this is how the number, letter or symbol series works. So now we move on to the next chunk of this lecture. So students, now we are discussing the next type of question, that is logical deductions. What do we mean by logical deductions? That you are given a certain situation and you will have to look for the possible deductions or the possible results using deductive reasoning. We'll talk about it when we'll have a detailed lecture of logical deductions. Right now I'm just giving you a sample question so that you may understand what type of questions can be asked under logical deductions. So here we go. The first question is, in a game 6 inverted cups are laid in a row. Each cup has a colored ball under it. The cups are numbered 1 to 6 consecutively. So ये समझ लें कि गेम हम खेल रहे हैं, इन्वर्टेड कप्स रखे हुए और 6 कप्स हैं और उनके consecutively नंबर के हैं 1 to 6 and under each cup there is a colored ball hidden. The balls are green, magenta, purple, red and yellow. These are the colors of the balls. The balls must be placed under the cups in such a way that conforms to the following. Now certain conditions will be given, and satisfying these conditions will be a prerequisite for solving that type of a question. Conditions क्या हैं जी? The very first condition, the green ball must be under cup 5. This is called the basic condition. अभी हम इस पे बाद में देखेंगे डिटेल से. Then the red and magenta balls must be under the adjacent cups. इनको क्या होना चाहिए? एक दूसरे के बिल्कुल साथ साथ होना चाहिए. The purple ball must be under a lower number cup than the orange ball. So it means that if the orange ball is under cup 4 or 3 or 6, the purple ball must be under a lower number cup than the orange ball. Now we move on to our first question, that what should be the arrangement of the ball? Overall arrangement, what can be the possible arrangement for all these 6 balls? तरीका क्या होता है? आपने उसको सेटिस्फाई करना होता है. कंडीशन को देखेंगे बहुत डिटेल से. अभी जस्ट इस MCQ के लिए हम देख रहे हैं इसको. Let's see, you have the first combination, green, yellow, magenta, red, purple and orange. These are the different colors, or this is the arrangement you have been given. Now we know that the green ball must be under cup 5, and in option A at number 5 we have purple, so this option cannot be considered true. Beta, magenta, green, here again it crosses out because we just have read that the green ball must be placed under cup 5, and here the green ball is at number 2, so this option can not be considered as well. Then moving on to the third one, here we have the green ball at number 5, but बाकी conditions भी देखें. The red and magenta balls, so this condition is also true here because they are adjacent to each other. And now move on to the third condition, the purple ball must be hidden under a lower number cup than the orange ball. And in option Charlie, the purple ball is at number 4 and orange is at number 6, so it satisfies the third condition as well. So we can conclude, we can deduct that our right option in this question is option Charlie. Let's discuss the remaining two. Orange, yellow, red, magenta, green. Here also you can see the green ball is at number 5, but it will not conform to one of the two remaining conditions. Like you can see, we said that the purple ball must be placed under a lower number cup than the orange ball, and here orange ball is at number 1, so purple ball cannot be placed under a lower number cup than orange because orange is placed at the lowest number, तो ये तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हो सकता. And here again the green ball is at number 5, the purple ball is placed under a lower number cup than orange ball, but the problem is that red and magenta, they are not placed under adjacent cups, so this option will also be crossed out as well as option delta, and our right option will be option Charlie. So this is how it goes. I have another question from the same statement for you. If magenta ball is under cup 4, the red ball must be under cup. Now you can see we have just read that they should be under adjacent cups. ऐसे ही है ना, इसके अलावा तो और कोई हमारे पास, this is a basic condition we need to satisfy. Now if I can write it down for you, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now under 5 we must place the green ball, so here it must be a green ball, that is a prerequisite condition हमारी ये है. And now we are saying if the magenta ball is placed under cup 4, here is the magenta ball, Now we can see that the red ball, because it must be placed adjacent to the cup having the magenta ball, तो फिर हमारे पास एक ही चीज बचती है कि रेड बॉल कहाँ आनी चाहिए. It must be placed under cup 3 because यहाँ तो adjacent हो ही नहीं सकता because here the cup number 5 is already occupied because we have the first condition. तो ये तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हो सकता. So the only cup the red ball can be hidden under is cup 3. So here again our correct option will be option Charlie. So this is what we mean by logical deductions. Now we move on to our next question, that is logical problems. So students, now we are on to our next question, that is logical problems, and this is one of the most tricky questions as far as logical reasoning is concerned, and people are most confused about this question. Why? Because things keep on changing and you get confused कि ये हो क्या रहा है, and you tend to forget, I should say, the real identity of the objects. होता क्या है इसमें? The two statements are given, normally including 2 or in certain cases 4 different objects, and then 2 conclusions are drawn on the basis of these 2 statements. But both the conclusions are not necessarily true. They can be true, both of them can be true, or either one of them can be true, and there is also a possibility that neither of the 2 conclusions is true. So यही 5 options आपके नीचे बनती हैं, that in only conclusion 1 follows. It is possible that only one of the conclusion is correct. Only conclusion 2 follows. It is also a possibility. Either 1 or 2 follows. Now this is the most interesting, because if conclusion 1 is drawn, or if conclusion 1 is the correct one, conclusion 2 is automatically ruled out, and if the conclusion 2 is correct, conclusion 1 is automatically ruled out. And neither 1 or 2 follows means that neither the conclusion 1 or the conclusion 2 is correct. And last, both 1 and 2 follows. This can also happen, that both these conclusions are absolutely true. So how can we solve these problems? We normally solve these problems using Bell diagram. And how it works, let me show you. Some kings are queens. So we draw a picture of it. Forget about my circle. कोई इस पे परेशान नहीं होना. Now we are talking some kings are queens. So this circle actually shows the kings, and some of the kings are queens. This can also be described as these are kings and these are queens. And we can see that some kings are queens. And then all queens are beautiful. All these queens are actually beautiful. All these queens can be beautiful. Now we check the conclusion. All kings are beautiful. No, because we see only the kings which are in the shaded area, only these kings can be beautiful. All the kings cannot be beautiful. इसके थ्रू भी देखेंगे तब भी यही है, because all the kings cannot be beautiful. Only the kings in that smaller circle can be beautiful. And all queens are kings. That cannot be the case, because we see ये वाला circle बनाएंगे तो फिर तो ठीक होगा. But if we go to this circle, this cannot hold true. So neither 1 nor 2 follows, and our right option will be option beta. So this is what we mean by logical problems, and this is how we actually deduce the results. So now we move on to our next type of question. So now students, we are moving on to our 5th type of question, that is course of action. I've already told you what do we mean by course of action is that a certain problem is given and you have to suggest the corrective measures, that what steps can be taken to avoid that problem. So I'm writing a question for you. A large number of people in colony XYZ have been diagnosed with malaria. Now, what can be courses of action? The one is the municipal corporation should immediately carry out extensive fumigation in colony X, Y, Z. And secondly, people should be directed to use mosquito nets. Now, these two are the expected course of action, and you will be given an option A, only one, beta, only two, Charlie, neither one nor two, and delta, both 1 and 2. Sometimes you are also given the option either 1 or 2. Now you can see that both these steps are necessary to stop the spread of malaria. So, on the one hand, the municipal corporation should also act immediately and carry out a fumigation. Then, secondly, people should also be very careful about the mosquito bite. So, our right option will be option delta, that both 1 and 2 follow. This is what we mean by course of action. Now, moving on to our last type, that is cause and effect. Now, cause and effect are comparatively easy to solve. I am writing a question for you. The prices of the oil in international market have gone up during the last year. That is the statement 1. And statement 2 is the prices of the oil in local market have remained unchanged. Now, what can be the possible options? Option alpha will be statement 1 is the cause and statement 2 is the effect. Beta will be the vice versa. Statement 2 is the cause and statement 1 is its effect. Option Charlie is both statements 1 and 2 are independent causes. Delta both statements 1 and 2 are the effects of some common cause, and eta both statement 1 and 2 are the effects of some independent cause. So you can see that in international market the prices have gone up and in the local market the prices have gone down. So they have no interconnection with each other. So ये common cause तो option delta ये तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हो सकते, बिकॉज अगर कॉमन कॉज होती तो या तो दोनों ही क्या होते, डाउन जा रहे होते, या दोनों ही क्या जा रहे होते, अप जा रहे होते. तो देन वी शुड हैव गॉन फॉर ऑप्शन डेल्टा. नाउ बोथ स्टेटमेंट इन both statements 1 and 2 are independent causes? No, because we know that the fall and rise of prices is an effect. It is not a cause. So option Charlie cannot be true. And if we talk about option alpha or beta, they cannot be true as well. We could have considered option beta if the prices in the local market would have also gone up. फिर हो सकता था, because the prices in the international market have gone up, and as a result prices in the domestic market have also gone up. So it could have been the case, but we know that our statement tells us that the prices in the international market have gone up, but the prices in the local market have remained unchanged. So this cannot be true. And obviously the unchanged prices of domestic market cannot influence the international price as well. So statement beta इसलिए भी incorrect है. When we talk about statement alpha, statement 1 is the cause and statement 2 is effect. It is very evident that if statement 1 is the cause, then there is no change in statement 2. Statement 2 में तो कोई effect हो ही नहीं रहा ना, because the prices have remained unchanged. So if something is unchanged, it means the cause, if statement 1 is the cause, it is absolutely not affecting the second scenario. That is why option alpha cannot be considered true as well. So our right option is option eta. Both statement 1 and 2 are the effects of some independent causes, because we know that price hike is an effect. और वो effect क्या है? दो independent causes का है. इंटरनेशनल मार्केट के फैक्टर्स कुछ और हैं और डोमेस्टिक मार्केट के फैक्टर्स कुछ और हैं. सो दैट वाज इट फॉर द सिक्स्थ टाइप. So that was it. That was the introductory lecture for logical reasoning. I do hope that you have got a good overview of logical reasoning, what it is all about and what sort of questions can be asked from you in this particular portion. If you have any question, any queries, you have the comment box. It is for you and you should use it to the optimum level, and do not hesitate to ask questions, because as I've explained, this is a new concept, so do not hesitate to ask as much questions as you want. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में. टिल देन अपना बहुत सारा ख्याल रखिएगा. जीते रहें, खुश रहें. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.